Okay, so here we are out in the breeding shed, and everybody's been off meds for several days now, and I am getting ready to start pulling pairs for the breeding shed. Hi, Missy. She just flew out over my head because I'm sitting just outside the door. They're sitting on the door over here trying to see the boys in the next cage over. So I've been sitting here looking at them, and she loves to hide way up there in the back. See her up on the screen back there? That's Vision. And she still has the brownest beak, the brownest cere in the whole cage, and she's going out first. And she's going to go with Buster. Where is Buster? There's Buster. This is the boys' side over here. And that is Buster with the light behind him. I don't know if you can see him. He's a white-based gray with a yellow face. And he has a beautiful mask, but you can't see it because he's not looking at us. So he's not very big, but both, like I said, I'm looking for at least 2 out of 4 traits when I do breeding. Miss, I can't fly because I have had air sac mites since I was born, but I'm feeling great now because they've been cleared out. If you can see her, she has a lovely little mask on her with nice little polka dots, so her markings are good. And of course, she's a Texas clear body, which is the whole point. And her markings are good, so she has 1. She has pretty decent feather. It's a little bit kind of limp because of the air sac mites, but she's a feathery thing. But the other big thing about her is she has a beautiful shape. You can see her little breast sticks out, and if you could see her from the side, she has that nice little upright, pushed out chest. She's got all the curves. So neither one of these birds have size. So they're going to have little babies, and unless she has big genes in there that never grew because of the air sac mites. And I just got him. Where'd he go? There he is, still there. I just got him. He's a new acquisition in the last 2 or 3 months, so I have no idea what his history is, but he's not too old. I think he's only 9 months old because he has a 2017 band on with a low number on it. But he also has a nice feather, a great big poof on the top of his head, and a beautiful mask. So that's what I'm looking for with these 2. We're just going to forego size and get everything else instead. So they're going to be out in the shed tomorrow. Next one, and a big surprise, is my lace wing lady right here. This is Gidget, named after a movie from the 60s. Her cere has turned just in the last few days. So, all right, I'll take it. So she's going to go out into the big shed, and she is matched up with giant Dusty over here. Dusty is huge. It's going to be interesting to see how much he weighs. He weighed in at 92 grams when I first got him, but he's a meatball, way overweight. And now that he's been in a big cage, and he actually can fly and gain altitude, not great, he has to do it in stages, but he can do it. And he runs around, and he likes to sit up on the swinging perches, which indicates that he has enough strength to keep himself balanced up there. I'm going to bet he's probably lost a little weight. He's in better shape than he used to be. So that's going to be an interesting pairing. He's huge, she's dainty, and she has the genes. Oh, where'd she go? That's not her. Up, up, up. There she is. And she has really nice feather. She only weighs about 60 grams, which is a little smaller than you'd like for a show budgie. But she's got all the feather and that beautiful lace wing mutation. So I'm outbreeding her to a big bird with a good mask. And then her children will meet my lace wing line in another pairing that I have. So the other pairing is, now here's Cinnamon. Cinnamon actually, for the very first time since I've had her, developed a brown cere about a week and a half ago, and it went away when I treated her for Giardia. The thing about Cinnamon is she doesn't look good right now. I've checked her, she's breathing fine, she has body condition, but she just doesn't really look very good right now. And her cere has gone completely blue-white. So I am not going to breed her. She has a long history. I've paired her with Frost, with Gray, and with one other one whom I forgot who it was. And she has rejected every male I've ever put her with. On the other hand, I have Random up here, who is the smallest of the sisters, and she is ready and raring to go. She has big genes. There's Rainbow, is her mama. Rainbow's her mama. She came out with a white face. She's the smallest of the sisters, but she's not that small. She weighs about 65 grams, whereas her sisters weigh respectively 69, 70, and 75. But we'll take it. So I'm going to breed her to my lacewing boy because, and here he is, that's Rocky. He lost his tail. He's not molting, but he lost his tail in the transition somewhere, and he looks kind of funny. But he is a big bird. He has a great shape to him, nice, big, expansive mask, and he is split to lacewing, which means that 1 out of every 2 of his daughters, because it's a sex-linked gene, will be lacewings, even though Random has no lacewing in her. So I'm going to take his lacewing daughter and breed it to Gidget and Dusty's lacewing sons, which will be split to lacewing, and start my own line. So they're going in tomorrow. Gidget and Dusty and Random, whom I almost got rid of about 3 different times, but, you know, she works. Random and Rocky. Who else is going in tomorrow? Vision and Buster. And the last one going in tomorrow is Miss Rainbow. I had to pull her. Her cere is crusty, but it's only tan. But I had to pull her out of the big flight because she was trying to steal Bubba, because her mate died and she was trying to, you know, line herself up with another mate. I didn't want them to get established because Bubba's has a mate already, and I want her to breed to, where is he? Where'd he go? Oh, of course, he's over here where we can't see him. So she, now, where is she? Where'd she go? There she is up there. She's my biggest bird. She weighs 97 grams. She has a lousy feather, a little short tail, but she makes me some great big babies, and that's what I want. So I need to match her up, obviously, with a bird that has good feather and a nice mask. She has a good shape, so her 2 traits are size and shape. So I am going to breed her to, oh, there he is, to Beryl. Beryl is absolutely teeming, but he has magnificent feather. Look at that tail. It goes on for days. His tail is 3 times as long as his body. He has magnificent feather, and he has a magnificent shape. He's got all the curves. When he stands up straight, his chest sticks out, and he looks absolutely lovely. And look at him next to Dusty. Dusty's sitting down because he's a kind of fat boy, if you will. So he doesn't look that much taller, but Dusty's absolutely huge. But there he is next to Stratus. Stratus is a tall bird, and Beryl is not. Beryl is a little short thing. He has a very short little body. But if I cross him up with my biggest girl, I'm going to be looking for that chick with his beautiful feather. Just expansive. He's an opaline, so he has a nice mask. He's an opaline spangle. She's a spangle, so maybe I'll get a double factor spangle out of them. Just to preserve that feather, and both of them have a lovely shape, so all of their babies should have beautiful stances on the perch and body shapes. So those are the 4 that are going to start with. I'm going to do something a little different this time. There's this issue where you put a female and a male in a cage and introduce them. Now this is obviously for pairs that have never met, and none of these birds have ever actually laid eyes on each other. They've listened to each other talking and chirping and everything through the canvas divider, but they've never seen each other. So these are all going to be, all 4 of these are new introductions. And one of the things that happens is the females fall in love with the nest box, and they hit the big hormonal rush, and they go straight into laying eggs, and their first egg, or sometimes even their first 2 eggs, aren't fertile because they haven't bonded with the male yet, so they haven't bred yet. So instead of, somebody told me, give the males a head start by putting them in the cage first for a couple of days, let them like take ownership of the cage and the nest box. I've done that. It didn't change anything. For instance, Sparky and what's her name? Kelly gave me 3 beautiful babies, but they had 5 eggs because the first 2 were not fertile, so they didn't hatch because they hadn't bred. Kelly went in there, climbed into that nest box, her hormones shifted, and she started generating eggs before Sparky ever had a chance to do anything. So what I'm going to do instead is, instead of introducing the male to the nest box and the cage, I'm going to introduce him to the lady. It kind of makes sense, don't you think? I'm going to put the males and the females in the cage together for 2 days before I put the nest box on the cage. I've noticed that I have some birds in there right now that are finishing up an extra bit of antibiotics because the air sac mice are getting ready to, do them some harm. So I am going to, and what I've noticed is that because they have no nest box on the cage, of course, but because the females can see the nest boxes, they're getting all excitable. So what I'm going to do is unhook the nest boxes off the cages when I put the pairs in and leave them off for 2 days, and leave that female to focus on the male and see if that doesn't get me a little less infertile eggs this time around. I'll keep you posted, and I will give you a video tomorrow when I have them all in place. So tomorrow what I'll do is I'll pull them all out, check them all over, make sure they're as healthy as they look. Nobody's wheezing. I actually hold them up to my ear to see if they were wheezing or sniffling. And I weigh them to see what their weights are. Make sure that their weights are stable and reflect how much they've weighed before. Although I'm actually kind of hoping Dusty will weigh a little less. Then I'll take them and put them out in the cage with their new beloveds. I'll give you a video and let you know how it's going.